Hi, so I wanted to film a video about my experience with having a buzzed head just in case anyone is interested, because I know before I buzzed my head I was watching a lot of videos about it, a lot about like hair growth rates and about what it's like and wearing wigs over toppers and things like that. So this is my experience and I cannot speak for anyone else who has ever buzzed their head or is ever going to. So I buzzed my head about 2.5 months ago now. It feels like a lot longer. It feels like I've looked like this for years, but I just think that's because time is going very slowly at the moment due to the pandemic. So I don't think it's anything related to the buzzed hair or anything. And you do get used to it quite quickly. And when I first buzzed my head, I thought it was going to be this huge aha moment, like best thing I've ever done. Absolutely love the way I look, this will be it forever. And I must admit, for the first at least few days, if not for a week, I was like, I'm not sure I've made the right decision. Like, I didn't regret it because I've always wanted to do it. And if I hadn't done it, I would have regretted it. But I just looked in the mirror and it was a bit of a shock, and I thought it wouldn't look that different to having short hair, but it did. It looked really different. It's like a completely different experience, even though it's only about 2 inches shorter. And it was quite a shock to the system. And a lot of people do say that when they first buzz their head, it's like the best thing they've ever done. And I'm still really glad I did it, but it didn't feel like an aha moment or like the best thing I ever did. So that's just my experience, though it might for you. But it did very quickly. I did very quickly get used to it, and I did love the fact that I couldn't really pull my hair out, and that is brilliant. So it kind of gives a chance. I had this huge bald spot all here. I had one back here. I had all the back of my neck, and I've still got this, but here. And basically it just gives you a chance for your hair to grow back. It doesn't take the urge away, not in my experience anyway. Maybe it will for you, but you literally can't pull the hairs out. That being said, it actually is possible to pull some hairs out. So like this length I can't really, I mean I probably could if I tried really hard, but you can't really pull the hairs out of here. But at the back of your neck, and I have heard other people talk about this who've buzzed their hair with trick, there are slightly longer hairs that I think are kind of finer and softer, so they don't get into the clippers, and they don't, so you can actually pull those really easily. So they don't make any difference to the way you look because there's so little of them and they're so fine, but they are there. And that proves to me that unless you like literally shave your head and don't buzz it, like shave it bald, a buzzed head isn't going to really take away the urge to pull, and it doesn't actually stop you pulling 100%, because in my experience I always found hairs to pull, mostly at the back of my neck, but often around my ears, because that's the bit where you're going to struggle to get basically with the clippers. So unless you literally shave your head and let it grow back really short that way, then there are always going to be hairs that you can pull in your head. So just bear that in mind, though they are so little and so few and far between that you're not going to make a noticeable difference to your head. So for a long-term solution and a short-term solution in that respect, buzzing your head is great because it does give you a chance for your hair to grow back. I mean, you can still see that this is thin, but it's, you know, mostly grown back now. I quickly decided that I kept buzzing it once a week for a while, and then I actually thought, I'm not sure how confident I feel with a buzzed head. I must admit I've never really come round to it. So I get loads and loads of positive comments and compliments, and like, you guys are so nice. Anyone who's ever said anything nice about my buzzed head, like, thank you so much. Like, everyone was so supportive. And I decided to start letting it grow out after about 6 weeks, and as soon as my hair got long enough to pull again, I did. So on top there's like a tiny little bald spot here that I've pulled since it started growing back, and I buzzed it short enough again that I can't do that anymore. But just as proof that if it does take away the urges, it'll be a long time that you've got to buzz your head for. It's not just a couple of months or anything. It would probably, if it ever does, it would be years, I imagine, months or years. So I wouldn't say buzzing your head is a solution to trichotillomania. It just gives your hair a chance to grow back. It gives you a break. If you are happy with a buzzed head, like all power to you. I think people look amazing with buzzed heads. I do. I honestly think they look great. That's why I wanted to do it so much. For some reason I haven't taken to it as much as I thought I was going to. Maybe I'm not giving it enough time because it has only been 2.5 months, but we'll see. Another reason that I'm thinking about letting my hair grow out, and it was never going to be a permanent solution, this. I did think it was going to be longer term than I'm planning on right now, but it was never going to be a permanent solution. But another reason I'm thinking about growing my hair out is because I absolutely love toppers. And if you don't know, toppers are more like circular like this, and they have different cap sizes, and there's clips all the way around. So you just pop it on your head and clip it down, and it's so easy. and your hair has to be long enough to clip, for it to clip to, and that means your hair has to be long enough to pull. I mean, your hair's long enough to pull ages before it's long enough for a topper. And I thought like getting into wigs would be something that would be easy, and I've found wigs that really there's no issue. I've got no issue with any of my wigs, the last 2 wigs I've had, but I've just not liked them as much. It's just my preference. I just prefer toppers. I just prefer how much easier they are. I prefer silk tops, and I do think silk top wigs don't fit me that well because my size is really small that way, so I'm kind of stuck with lace tops, and I don't really, or lace or lace top wigs, and I don't really like them as much. So for that reason as well, I'd like to grow my hair out and go back to toppers, because I just prefer them, and I just like them a lot more. I find them a lot easier, and I like the way they look a lot more. So I feel like I've been a bit negative, and I don't mean to be, because I have loved having a buzz head. It is brilliant, like knowing that you've got this hair that you can't change the way you look. So you've buzzed your head, and the only way it'll change is it'll grow back if you keep buzzing it. So the only way it'll change is positively, because it'll keep growing back and you keep buzzing it, and you can't pull it, but your bald spots are growing in, and it's absolutely brilliant. And in my experience, it takes about 5 months for hair to grow in when you've pulled it out. So if I pull out from an area, it tends to be like pretty much covered up again after 5 months. So it's a long time to wait, and I haven't waited that long for sure. Having a buzzed head is really easy in the sense that, like I said, it makes positive changes, and it also takes away the anxiety of trick, because it's not there. That's only if you pull from your head. Obviously that doesn't affect anyone who pulls from their eyelashes and eyebrows, and I don't, so I'm sorry I can't offer you any more advice there. But it is great knowing that you can't possibly make your situation any worse, and that is a big relief and a big like sort of weight off your mind. Having a buzz head is also very, very easy. I do still shampoo it because I like to shampoo my scalp and keep the dandruff away, but it takes like 2 seconds. I do give it a blast with the hairdryer because my house is very cold, but I don't really need to. The maintenance is so ridiculously easy, and if it didn't have bald spots, it'd be again another level of easy, because you wouldn't even have to do anything. You could just go outside, and if the weather wasn't so cold, you could go out without hats on. So if anyone has any questions about buzzing the head, please let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. I hope that this was informative. I'm sorry if it's not like a big inspirational. Buzzing my head was the best thing I ever did, and I totally feel like I should just say here, I don't regret it. I'm so glad I did it. I'm so glad I've given chance for my hair to grow back, and I've always wanted to do it, so if I hadn't done it, I always would have regretted it. I think it hasn't worked out as much for me as I thought it would. So I never thought it was going to be a permanent solution, but I didn't think I'd be ready to grow my hair back as fast as I have. And I am planning on starting to stop buzzing it soon. So in a couple of months I can go back to wearing toppers, hopefully, because it'll be long enough to wear. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.